all the fascinating characters to have emerged in the bloodstock business, few have achieved the kind of impact made by Michael Tabor. His emergence as one of the world's leading racehorse owners was so sudden and dramatic that it created an aura of mystery. If the Great Gatsby had reached the winner's circle at Churchill Downs, the racing fraternity could not have been more intrigued. All of which fascinates the racing press on both sides of the Atlantic, but especially the Americans, who would love to discover exactly how a London bookmaker with an early passion for greyhound racing became a Monte Carlo tax exile and raced the Kentucky Derby winner called Thunder Gulch. But the truth is, Michael Tabor has been in and around horse racing for a long time. He was principal shareholder in the Arthur Prince chain of betting shops until selling up this year, and he knows the game from both sides of the betting counter. Before the happy day when he asked his old friend Demi O'Byrne to buy him a horse to race in America, the best horse previously to have carried Tabor's colors was the Neville Callahan-trained Royal Derby, a pretty good performer on his day.
Royal Derby out 4 clear of Novello Allegro and Gallic Myth, and over the last it's Royal Derby from Novello Allegro, who's closing in second. In third is Muir Station, but it's Royal Derby who's made it all. Royal Derby is 2.5 in front as they go towards the line. Royal Derby wins the AIG Europe Champion hurdle by 3 lengths.
I trained his first, horse ever that he ever had anything to do with what I trained, and we've basically been together ever since and become close friends, and he's really been quite a lucky owner. In a small way for quite a long time. Obviously, things have changed.
The Thunder Gulch story began when Michael and Demi got together in 1994. Their conversation led to a purchase which eclipsed everything that had gone before. Just how do you come to own a horse like Thunder Gulch? Let Michael tell the story.
Well, I suppose it all began not this year, but the previous year, around October time, when I spoke to Demi O'Byrne about buying a horse for the States, and within a couple of weeks he'd found Thunder Gulch. And of course, the rest we all know now, but that's when it all began.
Demi remembered the horse from the Keeneland 2-year-old in training sale in April, and thought that, as a very late foal like his dam Line of Thunder, he had scope for considerable improvement. He'd won his maiden and had been placed in a graded stakes race. On November the 11th, Thunder Gulch was due to run in the Grade 3 Nashua Stakes at Aqueduct. So Demi flew to New York. He bought the horse from co-owners Ken Ellenberg and Howard Rosen over lunch, saw him start favorite for the Nashua that same afternoon, and watched as he finished out of the frame. But next time out, after being moved to the training quarters of D. Wayne Lucas, it was a different story.
And they're off. Time to Dine stumbled, leaving the gate. Western Echo came out smoothly and goes directly to the front. Western Echo, the favorite, out to establish the early lead as they move into the first turn, and he goes wide, taking Main Ingredient with him. And also going out there was Sham Francisco, and Sham Francisco now gets ahead in front of Western Echo. Main Ingredient now running third. Outlaw is a headstrong fourth. He's angled to the inside now. Then it's Mighty McGee running in 5th position, and 2 lengths back. Cresa runs along in 6th, with Thunder Gulch near the back of the pack in 7th, followed by Time to Dine, Ave's Flag, and Devil's Brew as the field moves up the backstretch. Western Echo on even terms with Sham Francisco, the quarter in 23 3/5 seconds. And Main Ingredient is right there with him, and so is Outlaw. And Mighty McGee is in hand, just off the lead, a close 5th. Cresa running 6th and saving ground. Thunder Gulch in good position, 7th on the outside as they move to the half-mile pole. And then it's Time to Dine, Ave's Flag, and Devil's Brew. They're rounding the far turn now after a half mile of 48 1/5 seconds. It's wide open, and the leader is Western Echo as they move to the 3 furlong pole. But now Mighty McGee is revving up, and 3 furlongs from the line. Mighty McGee going to the head of Western Echo, but Western Echo still holding on to the lead. Mighty McGee is right there. Thunder Gulch now is called on for his best under Gary Stevens, and Cresa draws into contention running 4th. Ave's flag switched to the outside for the run into the final furlong. Western Echo is the leader. Thunder Gulch is now second. Mighty McGee third toward the inside. 5 lengths back to Cresa and Ave's flag. Western Echo trying to hold off one more challenge from Thunder Gulch. And Thunder Gulch has taken the lead at the 16th pole. It's Thunder Gulch in front. Western Echo second. Mighty McGee third. Thunder Gulch prevails by a head.
As Michael remarked later, you go from being an idiot to a genius, just like that. But it was in February that the Derby dream started to take shape. The race in question was the Grade 2 Fountain of Youth Stakes at Gulfstream Park in Florida. It's one of the major Derby trials.
Oliver's Twist takes the field into the first turn and a firing line in behind him. Don Juan A is taken 7 wide going into the turn. Sea Emperor and Op Smile moving up. And down toward the inside, it's Mighty McGee. Around the first turn, Oliver's Twist is the leader. Op Smile, the pace presser on the outside. Mighty McGee is running in 3rd position. Valid Wagers in between horses now running in 4th. And then it's Sea Emperor 3 wide running in 5th, followed by Suave Prospect 4 wide 6. Thunder Gulch up close. He's only 3.5 lengths from the lead. Then a break of 4 to Don Juan A, followed by Amos. Jambalaya Jazz is 10 lengths behind, but now he's beginning to roll outside horses. Cinch is second to last. You're the One is the trailer. 46 and 4, a strenuous opening half mile here. On the inside, Oliver's Twist, who's been pressed hard the whole way by Up Smile, and Suave Prospect is poised on the outside right there, 3rd. And Thunder Gulch now gets in gear, and there he goes, but he's forced to go 4 wide round the far turn. Valid Wager is struggling to keep up. Sea Emperor is also weakening, and Jambalaya Jazz is kicking in. He's 5 lengths from the front as the field comes to the top of the stretch. Suave Prospect now here battling with Thunder Gulch on the outside. Oliver's Twist is running a brave race today. Jambalaya Jazz on the far outside. Down to the final furlong. Thunder Gulch, Suave Prospect, shoulder to shoulder. They've been brushing each other through the stretch, and it's Thunder Gulch driving on the lead. Suave Prospect, brave at the inside. Those two nip and tuck down to the line. Thunder Gulch won it in a brave and determined effort.
Giving weight and a beating to Suave Prospect was very smart form. Thunder Gulch and Suave Prospect met again in March in the Grade 1 Florida Derby over 9 furlongs, again at Gulfstream Park. It was a hotly contested affair, but the old rivals had the finish between them.
King's Fiction is right there, and those two hook up right from the beginning. And just in behind, Thunder Gulch runs 3rd. Then it's Oliver's Twist 4th on the outside. Suave Prospect gets a spot at the rail running in 5th position. Jambalaya Jazz is 6th, and Becky is 7th. Pat Day riding the rails with Flitch 8th. And then it's Cinch who's a wide 9th, and well behind is Stretch running Cresa as they make their way toward the backstretch. Star Standard the leader, and King's Fiction making him work to hold the lead. Thunder Gulch sitting just off the pacemakers running 3rd. Suave Prospect in between horses is 4th with Oliver's Twist 5th on the outside. Flitch is up close. He's only 3.5 lengths from the lead. Then Jambalaya Jazz is beginning to make progress. Legitimate fractions here, 47 and 1/2 mile. The field moving midway down the backstretch. King's Fiction and Star Standard are inseparable with a half mile to run in this Florida Derby. On the inside, Suave Prospect is right there. Thunder Gulch and Oliver's Twist around the far turn now. And it's Star Standard holding on to a short lead. King's Fiction couldn't keep up. Thunder Gulch now confronting the front runner, and there goes Jerry Bailey with Suave Prospect with an aggressive move toward the rail. Oliver's Twist is right there on the outside. Jambalaya Jazz is 5 lengths to make up as the field turns for home, and it's Suave Prospect in front. Thunder Gulch is running 2nd as they come down to the last furlong. It's Suave Prospect. Bailey's all over him, trying to get a 7th win today, but Mike Smith will have something to say about that. Here comes Thunder Gulch. Those two inseparable down the line, unwavering. Here's the finish. It's very tight, too close to call.
After a victory like that, there were grounds for more than cautious optimism. The Florida Derby had been won by the likes of Northern Dancer, Spectacular Bid, Swale, and Unbridled. Even so, the great day at Churchill Downs was still a couple of months away. Back in Europe, there were other things to keep Michael Tabor occupied. In April, he had a runner in the Italian 2,000 guineas, the Premio Parioli, at the Capanelli in Rome. This was Prince Arthur, still a maiden, but improving quite rapidly under Peter Chappell-Hyam's guidance. John Reed was in the saddle.
Running down towards the home turn, Blue Manny Mambo is the leader, getting away from Elbanor. Up there in third is Robbins just behind them. Further back in the field then Moon King being pushed along. They're followed then by Start Him as they round the corner. El Supremo behind them, followed by Union Decree, who's starting to move up. Well back in the ruck at this stage is Prince Arthur as they swing the corner and straighten up for the judge. And the leader out in the centre now, racing up is Robbins. Takes control now from Star Tom, and just behind them is Union Decree. El Supremo down the outside, followed by Moon King over on the far side, who's all out, can't find much more, and Prince Arthur taken to the outside. The final 200 metres now. Out in the centre, Union Decree ranges up to throw out the big challenge to Robbins. Tabire finishing on very well from El Supremo, and right down the outside is Prince Arthur, absolutely swamping them. 100 yards left to go. It's Robbins in front from Union Decree, but look at Prince Arthur down the outside. Prince Arthur going home 2 to their 1, and Prince Arthur gets up to win the Italian 2,000 guineas. It's a classic triumph for Michael Tabor.
Not a bad way to get off the mark. Prince Arthur making the transition from maiden to Group 1 winner on a Sunday. The fact is, D. Wayne Lucas made much more noise about stable companions Timber Country and Serena's Song than he did about Thunder Gulch. So much so that Thunder Gulch became the forgotten horse in the field. But as we said before, Michael Tabor has been around the betting game for a while, and he knows something about securing the value. Thunder Gulch was nicely backed on both sides of the Atlantic, and when you've had a real bet, this is the way you like to see things turn out.
And they're off in a Kentucky Derby. Afternoon Delights gets away quickly, and Serena's Song is expected on the outside. Along the inside, Wild Sin takes up the chase. Citadine in the middle of the racetrack as they passes for the first time. Serena's Song on the outside leads it. Wild Sin at the rail is second. Citadine right there, third. Talking Man in tight quarters between horses, fourth. Pyramid Peak at the rail is fifth. Thunder Gulch a close-up sixth. Afternoon Delight 3 wide is seventh. That's Jumron Racing a close-up eighth. At the rail, Suave Prospect saving ground in ninth. Then Lake George is 10th. Eltish is 11th. Gappa 2, Tejano Run is 12th. Dazzling Falls Race is 13th. On the outside, Timber Country is next. Then comes In Character, Mecky. Ski Captain is third last. Jambalaya Jazz is second last. And at the back of the pack, that's Nakadoon, 19th and last. Down the backstretch, it's still Serena's Song. Corey Nakatani aboard. He's trying to win this one wire to wire. Wild Sin with Randy Romero on the outside. Then a wall of horses charging up, and Citadine, a long shot. Part of the mutual field is right there. Citadine takes up the chase and the challenge and moves on Serena's Song, but Corey Nakatani lets him notch out. It's still Serena's Song. Citadine now Talking Man is in gear. On the inside in blue and white colors. On the outside, Thunder Gulch with the white blinkers, and Gary Stevens aboard has something to say about this Derby as they turn for home. A little more than a quarter of a mile to go. Serena's Song desperate to hang on between horses. Talking Man on the inside, but Thunder Gulch emerges with the lead, and Thunder Gulch with Gary Stevens takes command. Talking Man along the inside, and now here comes Tejano Run, and in the middle of the racetrack, it's Eltish along with Jumron, and down the stretch they come in the Derby, and here's the winner. It's Thunder Gulch. Lucas wins it with the lesser of the 3 horses he trained. How about that? Thunder Gulch wins it.
This is a rare sight and one to be cherished. An Englishman celebrating at the principal shrine of American racing. And on hand, too, was that vital Irish element in the story, Demi O'Byrne. As a vet, Demi is addressed as doctor in the U.S. Michael Tabor has found that it is healthy to have the doctor around.
This colt broke very sharp, and the inside speed kind of cleared things out inside of us. He actually showed a little more speed than what I had anticipated, and we just had a smooth trip over to the rail, and within 50 yards out of the gate, I was exactly where I couldn't have imagined myself being in a better place, and my best planned scenario was going to be under the wire the first time. I felt that if I could be in a position that I wanted to be in the first time under the wire, that I was going to be very happy. So obviously I was ecstatic that 50 yards out of the gate, I was already where I wanted to be. Serena's Song was done coming into the stretch, and I thought that it was going to be a hard-fought battle through the stretch with Talking Man because I didn't anticipate this colt going on. When he switched into his right lead, he absolutely exploded, and I knew there was no one going to be able to put him in any danger with the kick that he was putting in the last eighth of a mile.
It's with tremendous pleasure that I have the opportunity as Governor of the Commonwealth to present to Mr. Tabor the most important trophy, I believe, in all of racing for the greatest race in the world, and that's the Kentucky Derby. You deserve it, Mr. Tabor. You had the good judgment to choose one of the preeminent trainers in the world, one of the greatest jockeys that ever rode. It all came together for you, and congratulations.
Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, Mr. Tabor. This first Derby victory for Monaco, I think, where you spent a lot of your time.
I'd be very surprised if anybody else from Monaco's won the Kentucky Derby.
You were very wise to pick up this horse at the end of his 2-year-old year.
Well, it was thanks to Demi O'Byrne, who's a very good friend of mine. He lives in Ireland, and it was his choice, and I can't thank him enough because his judgment has been supreme.
Wayne, I don't know, what a sneaky thing to do. All week long, everybody, including you, has been talking about Timber Country and the filly, and here you win with Thunder Gulch.
Well, it's such a difficult race to win. I thought we needed 3 of them as bad as we're going. I felt real good about him all week, and he was standing between a ballerina and a 2-year-old champion, but he's now earned his own right to hold his head and walk down that track as Derby champion.
As with any great sporting occasion, the celebrations went on loud and long.
One dream, one soul, one prize, one golden glance of what should be. It's a kind of magic. One shot of light that shows the way. No mortal man can win this day. It's a kind of magic. The bell that rings inside your mind is challenging the doors of the waiting eternity. The day will dawn on Saturday. Is this the kind of magic? It's a kind of magic that can be all we want. This race that lasts 1,000 years will soon be done.
Timber Country had his revenge in the Preakness, but Thunder Gulch was still right on course for the Belmont Stakes. However, when June came around, there was a very important date earlier on in Ireland. This was the International Pro-Am Golf Tournament organized for charity by J.P. McManus. There was a celebration banquet at Martinstown Stud. There was a charity auction, quite a special one.
I'm too sexy for my love, too sexy for my love, love's going to leave me. I'm too sexy for my shirt, too sexy for my shirt, so sexy it hurts. And I'm too sexy for Milan, too sexy for Milan, New York and Japan.
You've seen auctions before, but never one like this. When Michael and Doreen sat down to dinner, they possibly thought their main contribution would be the sheet worn by Thunder Gulch at Churchill Downs. JP went to £60,000 to secure it. But just before that, a painting by Peter Curling, which reflected the action on the golf course and included many personalities, mostly Irish, prompted some very spirited bidding.
500,000. He's going to give it to him. £500,000. You can't get better than that. Mr. Michael Tabor.
£500,000 bid by Michael Tabor. Most people would have been rendered speechless. Happily, JP was not among them.
It wouldn't be right to let the night pass without thanking Michael Tabor because for the enormous amount of money he spent on the print, what he's going to do with it. Because Michael, he's a man, you know, everything he buys, usually he turns it into a profit. I'd like to find the guy who's going to give him profit.
Well, with Thunder Gulch due to run in the Belmont, perhaps $500,000 didn't seem such a hefty outlay. By now, the horse was famous outside his native America. To Michael and Doreen's great surprise, Chris de Burgh, another of the celebrity guests on that glittering evening, had composed a song to mark the great day at Churchill Downs.
I have never performed it before, by the way. I don't think I've even gone from one end to the beginning and the end again. Can you hear the piano okay? Louder, please. Louder. It was springtime in Kentucky, 1995. Well, the sun was hot and the grass was green. It was good to be alive. And thousands came from miles around on the first weekend in May to cheer the winner home on Derby Day. On Derby Day, it couldn't be better. Well, the hero of this story that I bring to you today was a horse by the name of Thunder Gulch, born in the USA. Kentucky, I got you in my heart. It's burning like a fire in my soul. Oh, Kentucky, I've seen it in my dreams that I'm gonna bring a winner home. Yes, and now I brought a winner home. Yes, and now I brought the winner home. Oh, Kentucky. Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
4 days after that memorable party, it was back to the office for Michael, which in this case was Wayne Lucas's barn at Belmont Park, where they had assembled for the final leg of the American Triple Crown, the Belmont Stakes. Timber Country missed the race with a temperature, so it was down to Thunder Gulch to give Lucas a record-breaking 5th consecutive classic victory. Lucas is a star in his own right, and television in America was intent on paying the trainer just about as much attention as it paid the horse.
It's been called the Triple Crown for 65 years, and never has a trainer won 5 of these great races in a row. Will Lucas be the first? To do so, he'll have to win the Belmont, and today's the day. Is he ready for the marquee role, or is that putting the cart before the horse? In sports, as in entertainment, New York is the threshold through which legends must pass. In Damn Yankees, Joe Hardy sold his soul to the devil, his hopes for a dream season fulfilled. Wayne Lucas is having his own kind of dream season. If it sounds like Hollywood, why not? From Lucas's Southern California base, he cast an understudy named Thunder Gulch into the springtime prep races. And while he got decent reviews, the leading role was reserved for Timber Country, last year's 2-year-old champion. The horse Lucas felt was his best performer. Typically, it was standing room only on Kentucky Derby Day for Act 1. In Lucas's eyes, Timber Country had the starring role, but he also added a leading lady, Serena's Song, to the script. Thunder Gulch became almost a bit player. But the supporting actor came thundering down the aisle to steal the scene. Even Wayne Lucas was surprised. In Baltimore, 2 weeks later, Act 2. The Preakness Stakes was redemption for Timber Country. But today, Timber Country will be off stage, as Lucas must rely on Thunder Gulch for a rousing choral finale.
Will everyone here kindly step to the rear and let a winner be the world?
Like the riverboat gambler, does Wayne hold the winning hand, leaving the competition once again gloomy? Does he slip on the way to the record book? Or will there be a standing ovation from the toughest audience in the world? On stage now, the final act.
All racehorses have what are called the connections. By this time, Thunder Gulch had a supporters club. His calm suggested that he felt he deserved all the fuss.
What do you like about Thunder Gulch today?
Well, we've got a hard knocking, good little horse that's going to come over here in a few minutes, and he's going to make a great showing. He's not going to disappoint us because he never does. He doesn't lie to us. He's honest as they come. And Gary, I think, will ride a very tactical race. We're in position maybe to pull it off after all.
He puts himself right in the race. He's actually a very easy horse to ride early on in the race. I just try and be a quiet passenger, make him happy, let him do what he wants to do. And as the race progresses, I get more and more aggressive with him, and I ride the heck out of him down the stretch and keep him busy. He has a habit of when he makes the lead, he wants to pull up and wait for company. He still thinks it's a game, but hopefully he's over that. He went on and won the Kentucky Derby with a lot of authority, and The Belmont's won in the same fashion. I mean, if you're fortunate enough to be able to open up a nice lead coming around the final turn, it's very hard for horses to run you down the stretch here at Belmont.
It is further proof of his toughness and versatility that Thunder Gulch was the only horse in the Belmont field to have contested all 3 legs of the Triple Crown. 3 very demanding events in 36 days. It didn't appear to worry him.
And they're off. And is Vacatus away quickly, but from the far outside, as expected, Julie Crone sends Star Standard to the lead. And Randy Romero takes up the chase with Wild Sin, who's tucking in right behind the leader. And Gary Stevens has the Derby winner. Thunder Gulch on the outside, racing third, as Citadine now finds some room and moves up along the inside rail. So as they round the first turn here at Belmont Park, it's Star Standard in front. Eddie Maple has Citadine along the inside, and just on the outside is Randy Romero with Wild Sin reclaiming the second spot. Wild Sin is second, Citadine third. Then Thunder Gulch on the outside is beginning to move. Then Composer in the red and white silks races fifth at this point, just 3 off the lead. Jerry Bailey is aboard. Knockadoon closer than in the Derby. He's mid-pack. Is Vacatus, who was away quickly, has dropped back now along the inside rail. Colonial Secretary is next. Ave's Flag, Panabras is second last, and the mystery horse Off and Away is dead last. But 11 of them stretched out about a dozen lengths as they roll down the backstretch. Star Standard, trained by Nick Zito, with Julie Crone aboard, is in front. She's trying to throttle the speed. She has it by a length and a quarter. And the half was in a lazy 50 and 1/5 seconds. She's doing a good job of slowing down the fractions, but Wild Sin is right there. The Bluegrass winner, who was last in the Kentucky Derby, is right there between horses second, and on the outside, Thunder Gulch looks poised to pounce. And now Thunder Gulch on the outside with Gary Stevens lets out a notch, and with a half mile to go, they're on the far turn with Star Standard in front. And on the outside, here comes Thunder Gulch. Composer is racing third. Citadine is holding along the inside in fourth position, and Knockadoon, as Chris McCarron looks for some racing room, and he's finding it there along the inside rail in the striped colors. But at the top of the stretch, it's still Star Standard, whose daddy and granddaddy won this race, but being pressed by Thunder Gulch on the outside, and those two in a battle up front. On the outside, it's Thunder Gulch. On the inside, it's Star Standard. Looks like Star Standard is trying to get out through the stretch, but Thunder Gulch puts ahead in front. And down the stretch they come to Belmont. A 2-horse race for the wire. Thunder Gulch on the outside with Gary Stevens inching away. Star Standard would set the fractions. It's going to be second. Here's the finish. Thunder Gulch by 2. Then it was Star Standard second, and Citadine finished third. Wayne Lucas does it. The understudy comes through. 5 straight Triple Crown wins. There's the owner, Michael Tabor, giving the thumbs-up signal because he can go to the winner's circle. Belmont Stakes, 1995.
Thunder Gulch comes through. This horse, who looked so good in Florida, then disappointed in the Bluegrass, came back to win the Kentucky Derby at 24-1, finished third in the Preakness, goes to the winner's circle at the Belmont. A 5th consecutive Triple Crown race win for Wayne Lucas. The blanket of carnations being laid across the back of the winner, Thunder Gulch, as they get set for the pictures and the ceremonies in the winner's circle at Belmont Park.
Thunder Gulch is a very, very aggressive kind of horse. He got up next to Star Standard without any effort at all, and he's never lost a photo. And like I said, I had the confidence in him today that he wasn't going to lose a photo again today. You can see Julie really fighting with her horse right here, and anytime you're putting that much effort into just trying to keep a horse straight, you know that it's going to take its toll on him through the stretch, which it did today. And Thunder Gulch, when she's getting out into him right now, he's loving it. I mean, he likes the battle, and she came out and bumped him pretty hard a couple times coming into the stretch, and he just pinned his ears and said, "Okay, you want to give me some of what you got? Let's go on with it, and we'll have a battle."
It was a great race. Michael, congratulations, and I'm proud to present this trophy to you on behalf of Thunder Gulch.
Michael Tabor, the owner.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor to be here, and he's a great little horse, and I'm absolutely thrilled, as you can imagine.
With Doreen Tabor, you bought. How did you find out about this horse in the first place? Because we had done the story about Howie Rosins, the former owner. How did you discover this horse?
Well, around October time, I spoke to a very good friend of mine, Demi O'Byrne in Ireland, and said that I fancied a very good horse to run in America. And this horse he remembered from seeing it run, and he went to see it, liked the conformation, and we bought it, and you know the rest.
Wayne Lucas handles interviews as expertly as he handles thoroughbreds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, you gotta get a little quicker than that now. We're gonna do this.
Michael Tabor was a bit more emotional.
How does the Belmont Stakes thrill compare with the Kentucky Derby?
Well, it's some thrill. I mean, I don't like to make comparisons because they were both fantastic events, just absolutely tremendous. The reception on both occasions was just out of this world, and the dream lives on. It's just both were incredible experiences.
Naturally, D. Wayne Lucas had a few further thoughts to offer.
There are a lot of trainers in the world that are getting up and working hard every day and have great talent. They just probably don't have the ability maybe to get into the yearling sales like we do, or to have a Demi O'Byrne from Ireland, who has been a long friend of mine in the sales, suddenly call you up and say, I spotted a little chestnut horse from New York, what do you think of this? You know, this is just being blessed. I had nothing to do with buying Thunder Gulch, except that I think I just said I thought I could do well for him, and I'd love to try it, and I'd love the association with this gentleman here, and I love my association with Demi O'Byrne. So, you know, those are things that just happen to you. If he doesn't call me, I'm not here. We might get 3 or 4, you know, but things fall into place, and I think if you keep winning, success breeds success in our game. And people who are successful in their own field seek out people that are successful. This will lead to better horses in the future and probably give us at least a couple more years of longevity until we screw it up or something.
All through this wonderful run of success, the only time Thunder Gulch didn't carry the Tabor colors was in July at Hollywood Park. Someone had forgotten to bring the by now famous Tabor silks, but if a few feathers had been ruffled, it made absolutely no difference to the result. And remember, Thunder Gulch was dropping back to 9 furlongs from 1.5 miles.
Deal for the swap, sent on their way. TJ's goal broke a little sideways. To Be Colored, the long shot, flies out the gate, and To Be Colored straight to the lead. Thunder Gulch gets up to race second, and Patientville is right there in third. Da Haas is dropping in just behind that leading trio, and Mr. Purple getting a good spot, 5th down at the rail. He's only 2 lengths off the leaders. TJ's Gold is back second last, and Dazzling Falls is last, but only 6 lengths covers the whole field. They run to the 3/4 pole, and the rank outsider, To Be Colored, sets the pace in the swaps. Thunder Gulch with the white blinkers right there, and Patientville on his outside. Mr. Purple is just gliding along, scraping the paint in 4th, 2 lengths off these leaders. Da Haas is in a good spot in 5th. He's 3 lengths off that leader. Then it's another 2 lengths back to Dazzling Falls, and TJ's Gold has dropped out last. They run past the 5/8, and To Be Colored continues to lead. Thunder Gulch is right there in second, and Patientville on his outside. Mr. Purple, a close-up 4th at the rail, is only 2 lengths off them, with Da Haas in the red colours in 5th. Then back to Dazzling Falls. He's having to be pushed along a little, and TJ's Gold can keep up. They run past the 3/8, still the long shot, To Be Colored the leader. Thunder Gulch now, Gary Stevens having to ask him a little in the white blinkers. Patientville on the outside. Da Haas is running a huge one in the red colours. Something wrong with Mr. Purple. Mr. Purple just stopped on a dime, and he's gone. They come to the top of the lane, and Da Haas gets a dream run through at the rail. Chris McCarron and Da Haas lead the swaps field for home. Thunder Gulch in the white blinkers, and Patientville on the outside. A 3-horse race through the stretch. Thunder Gulch is calling on all his class. Da Haas a big run at the rail. On the outside, Patientville, but Thunder Gulch is just too classy, and Thunder Gulch has won the swap stakes.
This was another outstanding performance, because Thunder Gulch was conceding £8 to the Jersey Derby winner Da Haas and £6 to Patientville, successful in both the Louisiana and Ohio derbies. Clearly, the 6 weeks rest since Belmont had done him no harm at all, and the winnings here took him beyond the $2 million mark. Easily enough for another painting. At around this time, there had been a lot of talk on the backstretch about a relaunch colt that was able to do sensational times. Towards the end of July, this colt, named Honor and Glory, made his debut at Saratoga. Devastating is not too strong a word to describe his performance.
They're off. Gregory Hines getting out quickly on the inside. Jetting Robert is there. There goes Honor and Glory off a step slowly, but quickly rushes up to take the lead with a flourish. It's Honor and Glory to the lead. Blushing John right there with him, second by 2. Rosa and Bloom running in third. Ideal State on the far outside, fourth. Jetting Robert fifth between horses. Tom and Kath is sixth toward the inside, and between horses it's Gregory Hines. That group is followed by Clear. Then there's a break of 4 back to Hail to the Lion, who's followed by Seattle's Fastest. The Truth Tailors are Surround Sound and Andrew's Courage. They rattle off a quarter in 22 seconds flat, and it's Honor and Glory, pressed by Blushing Jim as they hit the top of the stretch, and they ran a half in 45 and 3. Honor and Glory coming to the 8th pole, pulling away from the field impressively under a hand ride by 4 widening lengths at the 8th pole. Blushing Jim left in his wake second, then Tom and Kath, Gregory Hines, and Jetting Robert, good-looking 2-year-old. Honor and Glory won by 7. He could have won by more.
Honor and Glory opening up a 10.5 length gap on his debut, and he is clearly a colt of great potential. And as July gave way to August, the pattern in this astonishingly successful year remained unchanged. In Ireland, Michael Tabor's old Newmarket ally Neville Callahan had sent over another youngster, Danehill Dancer, to contest the Group 1 Hines 57 Phoenix Stakes at Leopardstown. Pat Edery, back from suspension, was in the saddle. Sustained support in the ring forced Danehill Dancer down from 4-1 to 2-1 favourite. And this is what happened.
But as they end the first furlong, it's Sunset Rains who's in the lead, followed by April the 8th, Woodborough towards the near side with Flying Squaw. Just after these, Rebo's Secret, Danehill Dancer, and Deed of Love tracks them on the inside. They're racing on now towards the halfway point, and Sunset Rains over on the far side, Christy Roach, April the 8th, and Willie Carson with Woodborough John Reed, Pat Edery pushing Danehill Dancer up on terms on the outside. Deed of Love tracks them on the inner. They're running down now towards the 2, and Sunset Rains being pressed on the outside now by Danehill Dancer. Woodborough is in between horses, and after these, Flying Squaw, and it's Danehill Dancer now and Pat Edery who've come through on the outside in the colours of Michael Tabor. To head in second place, Woodborough, who's boxing on for John Reed. Flying Squaw is running third, and then on the outside, Catch a Glimpse, but inside the last 150 yards, it's Danehill Dancer and Pat Edery striding on. He's only a neck in front. Woodborough is trying to come back, but Danehill Dancer wins the Hines from...
Danehill Dancer, bought by Demi O'Byrne for just 38,000 Irish guineas at Goff's in 1994, was one of the most heavily backed horses in England and Ireland in 1995. And his next target was to be the National Stakes at the Curragh. 6 days later, it was back to America. Thunder Gulch contested the Grade 1 Travers Stakes, the Midsummer Derby at Saratoga. A horse with his magnificent record was always likely to start odds-on favourite for this, and so it proved. The Travers provided one of his easiest victories of the whole year.
Star Standard to the lead. Pyramid Peak is keyed up today, and he's right there toward the inside. Citadel to their outside, and after that stutter step start, Thunder Gulch runs fourth, but Gary Stevens keeps him to the outside as they move into the clubhouse turn. Then farther back, it's Composer, a close to the pace fifth. Rankin Files alongside him, and Longshot Malthus is the early trailer as they round the first turn. The first quarter goes in 23 2/5 seconds. Star Standard, a short lead, but Pyramid Peak is up close and pressing the issue. Those two head-to-head, and Citadel is right there contesting the pace 3 wide, and Thunder Gulch is right there tracking the front runners intently. The half mile went in 47 1/5 seconds. It's an honest pace in this Travers. There's a break of 5 lengths now. Back to Composer, who is a relaxed fifth. Another 2 to Rank and File. And stretch running Malthus continues to trail the field. Up the backstretch in a 3-ply fight for the lead now with a half mile to go. It is Pyramid Peak in front now. Pyramid Peak by 3/4 of a length.
Citadine running in second. Star Standard tailing off in the third. Thunder Gulch is 3 lengths from the lead with 3 furlongs to run. And Composer comes alive on the far turn. At the midway point on the turn, there goes Thunder Gulch. Thunder Gulch on the outside. Now colors Pyramid Peak. And those two will turn for home together with Composer running third. Off the turn and into the stretch here at Saratoga. Pyramid Peak digging down toward the inside. Thunder Gulch forges to the lead at the 8th pole. Pyramid Peak running the race of his life, but he's second, and Malthus is a closing third. Composer flattens out, and it will be Thunder Gulch, the 126th winner of the Travers.
That was the first time any colt had managed to win the Kentucky Derby, Belmont, and Travers since 1942. The only worry for Thunder Gulch's backers came when he reared in the stalls, but it made no difference to what happened in the race. This made it 6 wins from 8 starts, and D. Wayne Lucas, so disappointed when Timber Country was unable to contest the Belmont, now began talking of Thunder Gulch as the horse in his yard. Indeed, as the horse anywhere. There was nothing left to prove against his own age group. So, in September, Thunder Gulch shouldered top weight against older horses in the Kentucky Cup Classic Handicap at Turfway Park.
And they're off. For the lead, the inside Suave Prospect, Judge T.C. Down along the rail, Tyus, then up from the outside. Wildly Joyous, Thunder Gulch is next. Bound by Honor trails into the first turn. Suave Prospect and Judge T.C., they're right together. Wildly Joyous third. The extreme outside, Thunder Gulch. Down along the rail, Tyus is next. Then a gap of 5. The trailer is bound by Honor. As they move for the backstretch, Judge T.C. and Suave Prospect. They're together. Gap of 2. Wildly Joyous runs third. On the extreme outside, Thunder Gulch fourth. Then it's a length and a half to Tyus in 5th. The trailer bound by Honor. Down the backstretch, Judge T.C. Suave Prospect, they're right together, gap of 2 lengths. On the outside, Thunder Gulch is gaining ground with Wildly Joyous. Then a gap of 3 to Tyus, and the trailer bound by Honor. They're well bunched now as they move into the turn. Wildly Joyous, Judge T.C., Thunder Gulch, and Suave Prospect. Those 4 together, then bound by Honor and Tyus. They're midway through the turn. Judge T.C. has a head in front. On the extreme outside, Thunder Gulch. Down along the inside, still Suave Prospect. Then it's Wildly Joyous, bound by Honor, into the stretch. Judge T.C., Thunder Gulch on the outside. Those 2 are together. On the extreme outside, bound by Honor. But nearing the wire, it's Thunder Gulch. He gets the lead, then Judge T.C. under the wire. Thunder Gulch wins the Classic a length.
Yet another splendid weight-carrying performance, and by now racing followers everywhere were anticipating the ultimate showdown with the brilliant older horse, Cigar. Sadly, their confrontation proved inconclusive, because in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, Thunder Gulch sustained a hairline fracture to the cannon bone of his left foreleg, and he was immediately retired. He will stand at Ashford Stud. None of the many tributes he will carry into his stud career is more remarkable than this one from D. Wayne Lucas. Absolutely one of the top 3-year-olds of all time, said Lucas. He was a really, really world-class horse. It was a sad end to a brilliant career, but it did not mean that Michael Tabor's winning streak was over. Far from it. There was still the National Stakes at the Curragh with Danehill Dancer odds on to maintain his unbeaten record, and Pat Edery once again in the saddle.
And it's Double Oscar, the leader, with the white face from Nose Bandit, Deed of Love in second. Then The outside of Royal State on the inside in third. Polaris Flight runs four. Danehill Dancer on the right of the picture. Deed of Love McCannan in the red cap towards the inside, and Hargar and Johnny Murtha in rear as they come now towards the halfway point. Double Oscar the leader narrowly from Royal State on the inside. Deed of Love close in third, and they're being chased by Polaris Flight. Danehill Dancer is on the outside, then Force of Will and Hargar in rear. Coming towards the 2 furlong marker now on the National Stakes, and Double Oscar tackled by Deed of Love. They're followed by Danehill Dancer putting it a run on the outside of Polaris Flight. Force of Will is coming through in the centre, but it's Deed of Love the leader from Danehill Dancer on the outside. Danehill Dancer quickens now to go about half a length up. They're into the final furlong, and Danehill Dancer beginning to stretch, goes on 2 in front of Deed of Love. Force of Will, Polaris Flight beginning to run on as they race into the closing stages. It's Danehill Dancer and Pat Edery out in front, leading by 2. Polaris Flight runs on well, but Danehill Dancer wins it.
Michael, unfortunately, was in the States. He wasn't there, but nor was Demi, but John Magner was there, and J.P. McManus, and they really represented Michael, and I think it was at least as good a day, even though Michael wasn't there. He did it well, and you know, we were obviously very pleased to have 2 Group 1s, and again in Ireland, which probably gives me more pleasure than perhaps anybody else.
Danehill Dancer is a very high-class colt indeed. He was beaten only by the winter 2,000 guineas and Derby favourite Al Harf when they contested the Dewhurst at Newmarket. Back in America, there were 3 more notable victories to come in October, starting with Typically Irish in the Oakleaf Stakes at Santa Anita.
Bat Royale immediately goes to the lead with Cosmic Fire second, but now taken back. Gastronomical comes through at the rail, and Typically Irish moves up on the outside to get second. Ocean View is now fourth as Cosmic Fire drops back into fifth. Ecstasy in the pink colours forced to go a little wide into the turn as only 4 lengths off the leaders, and Saratoga Flower is last. They run to the 3/4 pole, and it's the favourite, Bat Royale, going along comfortably on the lead, has it by a length to Typically Irish, then a length and a half to Gastronomical third. Cosmic Fire is at the rail, a joint fourth, only 3.5 off that leader, with Ocean View on her outside. Ecstasy second last, and Saratoga Flower bringing up the rear, 5 lengths off the leaders. They run to the half-mile pole, and Bat Royale just on a long rein out here, going along very easily, leads by half a length to Typically Irish, then a gap at 2.5 to Gastronomical. Ocean View on her outside. Cosmic Fire is down at the rail, and Ecstasy in the pink colours is 4.5 off the leaders, another length to Saratoga Flower. No change in the order as they run past the 3/8 in the Oakleaf, but still the favourite, Bat Royale. Typically Irish up alongside. Now Ocean View throws down his challenge on the outside, and Gastronomical fourth. These 4 pull clear from the others. A 1/4 mile left to go, and it's Bat Royale, Typically Irish, running a game 1 on her outside. Ocean View is back in third, and Gastronomical in the white cap at the rail fourth. Past the 8 pole, and Typically Irish going a little better than Bat Royale. Ocean View on the outside, Gastronomical fourth. A 16 to go. Typically Irish being driven home by Lafitte Benkai. Typically Irish, Ocean View late. Here's the wire, and Typically Irish has won it the neck.
Typically Irish's 4th win from 7 starts took career earnings to over $220,000. But the following day there was good reason to celebrate even more, as honour and glory lined up in the breeder's futurity.
Well bunched into the first turn. Blushing Jim on the inside has the head in front. Honor and Glory up on the outside. Those 2 together. Cobb's Creek third. Length and a half to Roar fourth. And down along the rail, City by Night runs fifth. AV8 sixth. Down along the inside, Beef Chopper runs seventh. Then a gap of 2.5. Night's Image is eighth, followed by Never to Squander and King's English Trails. As they move on to the back stretch, it's Honor and Glory in front, now by a length and a half. Blushing Jim runs second, length and a half to Cobb's Creek third. Through from the rail, City by Night takes fourth. It's a length to Roar, who runs fifth. Up between horses, Beef Chopper sixth, AV8 now seventh. As they move into the turn, the leader, Honor and Glory. On the outside, gaining ground into second, that is Blushing Jim. Those 2 are now right together, gap of 2.5. From the rail, City by Night takes third. Beef Chopper moves up fourth, Cobb's Creek fifth, Roar runs sixth, then King's English has to move for the stretch. Honor and Glory, Blushing Jim. Now Blushing Jim puts the head in front. Then Honor and Glory, City by Night. Down the stretch, and Honor and Glory comes back again. It's Honor and Glory now drawing off. City by Night, then Blushing Jim. Nearing the wire, Honor and Glory.
Honor and Glory had finished third in the Belmont Futurity, but made it 2 wins from 3 starts in this Grade 2 event. And finally, another horse to look forward to next year is Marlin, a son of Sword Dancer, who showed just what he can do in an allowance race at Belmont the day after the Breeders' Cup.
Choice Shift and Marlin go out for the lead together. There goes Why Change streaking toward the front. And Star of Theatrical is held up in between horses. On the outside, Harrow Man now moving up from 5th. A break of 3 back to Terminator, followed by Harrow Man and Courtney's Mercedes at the back of the pack. They make the bend into the backstretch. Harrow Man coming up 3 wide. Why Change protecting the lead and holding the rail. It's Why Change, 3/4 of a length. Star of Theatrical right up there running in second. On the outside, Harrow Man is third by 2. And then it's Marlin now dropping 5 lengths off the lead. Marlin took an awkward step there. Choice Shift following Marlin. Down on the inside, Terminator. It's 3 lengths back to Courtney's Mercedes. And the trailer still Harrow Man as they continue their run up the backstretch. The opening quarter over the boggy going, 1 in 25 and 1/5 seconds. And Why Change opens up the lead now. Ran a half in 51 flat, but here comes Marlin. Marlin now finding his best stride and advances to the head of Why Change. On the outside, Harrow Man now running third, and down toward the inside, Terminator is 4th. They're on the far turn, and Marlin has taken a short lead. It's Marlin in front by a head now. Why Change right there with Marlin, 3 lengths back to Terminator, and then it's Harrow Man dropping off the pace as Courtney's Mercedes rallies and rallies strongly. Off the turn and into the stretch, Marlin roused to the lead. Courtney's Mercedes on the far outside. Why Change laboring now in between horses. Terminator down to the final furlong. It's Marlin trying to hold for 1 more furlong, and in fact opening up here, Marlin with renewed energy in the stretch will go on to an easy victory. The others just trudging home behind Marlin. Marlin wins here by about 8 lengths.
The team of Michael Tabor, John Magnier, and Demi O'Byrne have been in action at the major international yearling sales this year, buying horses they hope will be future champions. At Keeneland, they went to the top price of the sale, $1.25 million, for a filly by Mr. Prospector, and she is one of a batch of 12 yearlings going to D. Wayne Lucas. The team were together again at Gulch's yearling sales in early October, and there Demi was in front of the cameras explaining the secret of their success.
Well, we look at all that, look at as many horses as we can in the early part of the sales, and people help me, like Paul Shannon helps me, my brother John O'Byrne, and Timmy Hyde. We try and go through the whole catalogue, and we get a list of horses that we all like, and then we go back over the others and get them vetted, and eventually get the list down to what the final choices are. If it's an important sale like this, we try to really look at every horse. Some member of the team gets to see every horse.
It's got to be perfect. It's got to be worth it. Yeah. Too many people take second best, but I won't take anything less. It's got to be, yeah, perfect.
The unique atmosphere of the sales ring, where dreams are still merely dreams. For Michael Tabor in the unforgettable year of 1995, dreams had a habit of becoming reality.
Now the race was nearly over, just a quarter of a mile. Serena's song was falling back, the talking man was tired. Then Thunder Gulch began his run, he's coming on the outside, and no one could get near him. Everyone was cheering as Thunder Gulch came flashing past the line. Gulch, you in my heart. It's burning like a fire in my soul. Oh, Kentucky, I see it in my dreams that I'm gonna bring away.